Hi, my name is Connor Burris, and I want to use this time to answer the question, is making difficult games worthwhile? Do people really want hard games? Why do more casual games make more money? I would like to discover the risks of making a hard game as well as the benefits. I would also like to discover the benefits and risks of making a more casual game. Today I'll be presenting and analyzing data from two popular games released in 2009, Plants vs. Zombies by PopCap Games and Demon's Souls, made by From Software. First, let's look at Demon's Souls. According to an article from late 2008 I found on CNET, the average AAA PS3 game would cost anywhere between $20 million and $50 million to develop. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a direct answer about the development cost of this game. However, Demon's Souls was released as a PS3 exclusive in October of 2009 in the USA. According to an article I found on Destructoid.com, the Eastern influences and difficulty made Sony Computer Entertainment Japan's Young-King Kim believe Demon's Souls would be a commercial failure in the West, so Atlus published this title to the USA. This pie chart represents the total amount of units sold in the US and Japan. As you can see, the US sold an overwhelming 51% of total units sold. I also found that they estimated Demon's Souls would ship around 75,000 units. These results were quite the surprise to Sony Computer Entertainment, whose representatives later say they regret deciding not to publish it. This graph is data gathered in 2011 towards the end of Demon's Souls being online. This challenging game was much more popular in the West than anticipated. Before we get into whether or not a difficult game is worthwhile, let's talk more about a casual game. Plants vs. Zombies, which came out in 2009 on the PS3. PopCap Games released this game in 2009 and it came to multiple platforms as a hit, including PS3, PS Vita, and mobile phone like iOS and Android. In 2011, the developer Pop Games was bought out by EA for more than $750 million, and EA hasn't charted the total sales or downloads, so I'll use figures that I can find. According to Matthew Reynolds at Digital Spy, in its first 9 days, Plants vs. Zombies sold 300,000 copies. In just over a week, which is nearly 18% of Demon's Souls' entire sales to date. At GDC in 2010, James Schwartzman of PopCap Games announced that his simple and fun strategy game had sold 1.5 million copies, and by 2016, 9 million copies will have been downloaded on iOS alone. Looking at this data in a bar graph makes it obvious. As far as units sold, Plants vs. Zombies blows Demon's Souls out of the water. Let's review the results. Plants vs. Zombies had a significantly less budget and sold millions of more copies. So what does this mean? I think that we can infer that while making a challenging game may develop a loyal fan base, it becomes less appealing to more people. Demon's Souls had a big budget, dark themes, and was very difficult, and I think that affected the sales of this game. Plants vs. Zombies' unique and silly art style and familiar, easy-to-learn strategy mechanics made this game a good choice for people of many more ages, and since it was marketed well and on multiple platforms, it was much greater commercial success. Releasing at the low price of $2.99 as opposed to $29.99 also made it more appealing. This could say a lot about the necessity of games having such great budgets. In conclusion, while not visually impressive, the low-budget Plants vs. Zombies utterly stomps the original Demon's Souls in terms of sales. I think that making a difficult game could be worthwhile, but offers much more risk than making a more simple and easy-to-approach game. I believe that people do want difficult games, but more people want games that aren't as tough, which is probably why the Souls games remained such a niche series for so long. It became a milestone of being a gamer to platinum these games, but not everybody is ready for that challenge, whereas everybody's ready to chill on a silly strategy game, especially one that you could play while waiting in line at the DMV.